Everybody, good morning. Good morning. I'm excited to join those of you that are going to join me this morning for our Monday movement, especially with all the weather we just had in Texas. My Lord, talk about like literally knowing that there are things bigger than us that we have no control over no matter what we do. Again, good morning, you guys. Just going to give a couple of minutes here for those of you who are going to be able to join me this morning. Also, good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. Excited to have you guys at YouTube join us every Monday morning for our new YouTube channel at Tracey Casey-Arnold. And for our Monday movement that we do every Monday. Good morning, Dina. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Sharada. Hello, sister. Good morning, Chip. How are you doing? Good morning, everybody. Excited to join you today for a message, as I always say, that is hot off the press. That means it's literally still sizzling. It's still burning, but it hasn't burned up yet. It's on fire. So I'm just going to give another minute or two for those that are going to be able to join us today. And this is going to be a little different just because when I went to actually sit down for about 5 to 7 minutes. Good morning, Christy. And kind of talk with the Lord, because I kind of knew already last night what he was wanting me to bring. I just didn't know what direction, Lord. I mean, I get it, but what part do you want me to talk about, or how do you want me to lead into it, or what do you want me to home in and focus on? Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Naomi. So glad you guys have joined me this morning. And I sat down for about maybe 7 minutes is all I had. And then I needed to come out here to the car. And I thought, this is going to be different, Lord, because normally I like to read the scriptures and be able to tell you what it says. But he was moving so quick that I couldn't do that, but yet I've got the scriptures and I could tell you what it speaks to, which is great. Okay. And as long as I've got Dina and Christy, if you guys can have my back, that when you hear the scripture and I'll repeat it, if you guys can post it here in the feed, I would greatly appreciate it. Today's focus, oh, thank you, Mendez's, Jesse and Naomi. I love you guys. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. God bless all of y'all. Good morning, Eva. Good morning, everybody. Woo, it's Monday, y'all. We can't get around it. We can't skip it. We gotta, guess what? Move through it, right? It's Monday. And I'm going to say this, you guys, and it's very rare that I start off with this, but I'm going to. Man, if you did not watch the show on Saturday, I need you to go and watch it. I mean, I was sitting there myself watching it, and a lot of times when I do the show, over 95% of the time, I never really know, other than a few points, what the Lord's going to speak through me. And this is just fact, okay? Not trying to make me be this holier than thou person, but it's just downright truth. And let me tell you, it was on fire Saturday, and I thought, Lord, how do I get this in front of more people? Because when I say he was speaking on the show Saturday, good morning, Tanya, my Lord, it was like, Lord, we need to text messages to people. We need to put it on fire. We need to expedite it, like a FedEx to people. So if you guys can go, and if you've not watched it, please watch it. And let me thank you, Eva. Thank you. The Lord was working in that message. I need you to go and watch it. All you have to do is to type in your Facebook at TA for Christ, and YouTube. Don't worry. We are in our Hope series in YouTube, and that message is on fire. And this week, YouTube, that's what's being uploaded to you guys tomorrow, is just going to set you on a whole other planet, because the Lord was working. And you guys, and good morning, Lady Cotton. But remember, YouTube, you can always join us every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard, 11 a.m. on the East Coast, by just coming over here to Facebook. Okay, and in the search bar, anybody, we don't even have to be friends. You can go and pull it up. Just type in the @ TA, the number 4, Christ, and it pulls up. And right there in video, the latest show is just right there. And it's called, man, Fighting. And you guys can watch it. Good morning, Chola. Oh my God, with your cute little doggy picture. I love that. I love that. Well, today's message, you guys, good morning, Andrea, beautiful goddess. Good morning. Is called Fight the Funk. Man, I'm going to sit here and tell you, I absolutely love that title. I was like, fight the fun. Come on, God. God, that's good. I love catchy titles. And I love titles that just really paint a black and white picture. Like, you just can't get around there. Fight the funk. Okay, because I'm going to sit here and tell you, we're in our series of the Fight Club. And it's about fighting. It's about being a warrior, man. And again, our last episode, which is not this Saturday is about being a warrior and the collateral damage. I need all of you guys to watch that show. It is about collateral damage of war. You need to know that. Okay, you need to know, because you need to know what to do when, and I equip you with what to do. Okay, I totally do. It's a totally different show that I've never done before, but it's powerful this Saturday. But our last show, which is next Saturday, man, is based off the movie Blade. And I'm going to sit here and tell you, we have a secret sauce that God has given us that's just downright makes the enemy have to go flat. Okay, he can't move, he can't pursue us, he can't follow us, he's done did. And you need to watch Blade, you guys, which is next Saturday. But today's focus is Fight the Funk. Man, I'm going to sit here and tell you, and let me back up. I don't like it, but when God brings me through it, he's bringing me through it, I don't mind it and I like it, because I'd much rather give you a relevant, real message than to come here and do a staged one. I hope you guys know what I mean by that. I want it to be real. And the one thing I want to make sure that I do, I'm not trying to set myself above, even though the Lord, yes, has me preaching and speaking to the nations. I get it. I'm going to keep it always real and raw. That's TA. Okay, that's just who I am. And I love when the Lord takes my own junk and makes it the testimony and makes it the message. It's a lot easier for me to tell you my junk. Easy stuff, because I'm feeling it and it's real. You know, Fight the Funk is one of the biggest things that we battle, you know, as God's children, whether we have received him and know him and have received him as our Lord and Savior or not. We're his. Okay. And to me, that's a place we all got to get to in our own time. And I'm going to make many opportunities in my show for people to receive him right there. And the moment you receive him is the moment he is your daddy. Okay. But here comes the thing we must know. Even if you haven't received him, he's already paid the price. Your name is on the list. You just got to check into the event. That's just the bottom line. Check into the event. And I'm going to sit here and tell you, one of the number one places that the enemy strikes, it's literally, and I've said it in the monthly launch show, it is our mind. Man, it's our mind. But even bigger than our mind, here it is our emotions. Oh my Lord. See, our mind has the ability to think on positive things, to think on good things, to think on things that just fuel us to the next level to keep us going, right? But it's our emotion is what dictates the direction of the mind. Good morning, Jim. It is our emotion that dictates the direction of our mind. Okay, so the enemy doesn't even have to deal with our mind if he doesn't want to. If the mind's not strong, he can just so go to our emotions. He can do things in a way that get our emotions to be all over the place, that can cause us to be in chaos, that can cause us to be in a fog, that can cause us to be bewildered, overwhelmed, and downright, as I said on Saturday's show, paralyzed. It could just take our whole emotions and cause us to write a book. Y'all, we can write a book with our emotions, can't we? In about 5 minutes, we got a whole book. Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a book. And then if we even cast on our thoughts even longer for the day or two, we got a whole book series. We could be rich. Okay. The enemy knows that. And the book that he wants you to write is his book. The book he wants you to promote is his book. The book that he wants you to be able to speak on daily as we're walking, when people talk, he wants us to speak on him, so that guess what we do? Good morning, D. We interject and we inject and we intercede him into people's walk in life. Our emotions are something that is transcending. Our mind is something we can keep in here, right? Our mind is something we can keep locked up. We can be battling in our mind. But our emotions, for most of us, is a speaking entity. Even if we don't say a word, our emotions, guess what it does, y'all? It puts it all on our face, right? You ever see somebody that's not saying anything, but you know they're pissed off and they're upset? How do they look? You know they are upset. And our emotions, when we're glad, guess what? We don't have to say a word. It can be, we can give an emotion, we can give it action. We can make it come to life. It has the ability to transcend without a word. And it's got the ability to spread bigger than anything, to manifest and affect our whole entire life, the people around us, and my God, the thing the enemy wants more than anything, it could be the thing that just downright affects the house or tears it all down. We've got to get our emotions, which is where the funk is at. We got to get it in check. You know, I'm going to give you, like I said at the end of this, some scriptures that I want you to really go and read. And I'm going to tell you what it's referencing, which is why it's so important. You know, this weekend I had purchased tickets. This is something I did back in January. You know, I do the Lord's work and I'm all in. I sacrifice my whole entire self and lay it flat, prostrate before the Lord and say, do your will with me. Put me through anything, Lord. My life is all yours. And I let him guide me. It doesn't mean that I like it all the time, because me and my daddy have some serious conversations like, what's up with that all the time? And he knows that I go through things. I'm still a woman. I'm still a woman and I still have emotions myself. Good morning, Patty. But I'm going to sit here and tell you that I believed, like I told my daddy, I believe that as hard as I work, come on, I want y'all to listen to me. I believe that as hard as I fight, I believe that, man, I can get blow after blow after blow. And by me getting back up and continuing, got all these text messages, getting back up and continuing, I'm like, man, can I just get a Snicker bar? Can I just get a nugget? Can I just get something that just, Lord, brings joy? Something that has nothing to do, good morning, Rick, with anybody else. Lord, can I just get a paid dividends for my hard work? Good morning, Laura. And how much that I get beat down, but I still go, Lord, that in January, I purchased a very expensive, I did top of the line ticket to go and attend what's called the Sword Experience with one of my favorite actors. Good morning, Sherry. Adrian Paul, AKA and forever will be Duncan MacLeod, the Highlander. Okay, that's my man. Okay, other than Tom Cruise and Kevin Costner, that's my man. And I had literally stored up work. Man, I was like, Lord, I've got that set for June 15th. But we were in January and I got work to do. And man, I gave all I had to the Lord. I gave all I had to my marriage. I gave all I had to my kid. I gave all I had to my granddaughter. My Lord, I've gone through hell and I would get back up and still going again. Well, here we are. It's my day. This is about me. Come on, I know I'm speaking to somebody this morning. This is like, all I want, Lord, is this one day. All I want, Lord, to keep me happy, to make me happy. Just about me, Lord, because I'm a good girl. God, Lord, I've done many things and I've not complained. And if I have, Lord, it was for a second. Lord, I just want this one thing for me. And let me tell you, that day, the enemy was just waiting for that day. I mean, my show aired, no problems, and saw many people on live. My Lord, it was just to my event. Here comes traffic. Here comes my navigation taking me the long way, and I'm trying to trust navigation. She's supposed to have her crap together, telling me the fastest way to get there. And I see that in the beginning, I've knocked off 10 minutes off my time. I will have many minutes to go and shake Adrian's hand and hang with Adrian before we go into training. I mean, that's what I wanted. I wanted a personal relationship. I wanted to say high five. I wanted to say, hey, do you remember me when you were on my show? I wanted to let him know, man, let me tell you what you meant to me during my rough times. All I asked for was one thing, Lord, for me. That's it. Just one thing. And lo and behold, I realized there's an email saying that there's a switch in a location, and the wording that they had me going to one location when he wasn't even there yet, to have me waiting and being in doubt that should I go to this location? So we go to this location, and lo and behold, they're like SWOT experience. We don't know what you're talking about. That we literally wasted all that time that I was ahead, good morning, Pete, in order to meet Adrian Paul, aka Duncan McLeod. Y'all don't understand. Y'all know I love movies. This was my thing. All I asked for, Lord, all I want is this. And here we go, back and forth, wasting 40 minutes, that by the time we went back to the first place, there he was trying to scarf down food, and I'm respectful. I wasn't going to be that crazed person seeing this boy's trying to eat before he goes in to do his thing and be that one person. You know what I'm talking about. Excuse me, Mr. Paul, I'm not about to go and do it. So then I go in and I check in, and this dude is no more, y'all, than a hand's reach for me. Good morning, Ike. No more than a hand's reach for me. And the whole time, I mean, it's a small room. It was up close and personal. But there, when he took a break, he was focused. This dude takes it serious. They were focused all the way to the end. And then even though the lady said, we're going to make sure you get your picture, sweetheart, because we can tell you purchased the top package and you're not even getting trained. Oh no, because he was running late, which means now he needed to go where they were going to be filming and everybody was going to be able to come. And then we went to that place, and make a long story short, I didn't get my moment. And then at the very end, he was already running behind and he needed to leave. The lady said, let's get you a picture. Now, y'all know what that's like. This is like fitting it in. He's rushed. He's not in the moment. I'm just trying to be nice and take the picture real quick. And then he looked at me, he goes, so like literally you paid for the whole thing. He goes, well, I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm thinking, if you only knew, all I wanted, bro, was 5 minutes just to tell you that during my darkest times in my life, you were what God used to get me through. See, I had Flash Gordon and I had Superman when I was little, but during my adult youth, adolescence years, it was Duncan McLeod, y'all. I get my picture. I go away to go get me and Quint dinner because it's been a long day. And lo and behold, I look at my picture and what do you think? The lady who took it took two. You could barely see us. It was fuzzy. It was cloudy. It's like her own little hands were shaking and the camera couldn't get the focus. And I literally felt broken. I'm like, Lord, I don't get it. I work hard to be obedient. I work hard to be and do what you've asked me to do. Good morning, B. I mean, I went through the fire and still going through it, and you see me get back up, Lord, every time, no matter what I'm feeling, no matter how much blood is gushing out on the side. I know y'all are feeling me this morning because I know this is somebody else's story. But Lord, I still get back up. And I try to keep a positive outlook. However, I have moments, Lord. But even in those moments, like the two sons, I don't tell you I'm going to go do it and not do it. I'm that one that may have a moment, but there I am doing it, Lord. And you call that a blessed son or a blessed daughter. Lord, I just don't get it. My one day where it was about me, Lord. My one day where I was looking for you to say, oh, y'all move away, because my daughter, who, man, is a fighter, who, man, is giving all she's got, this is her day, y'all. Slow down the traffic, move out the cars. Navigation, get your crap together, navigation. Don't be sending her the long way when you know there's a quicker way. And for her to show up right on time when everything is right as rain. And that's not what the Lord did. He allowed the enemy to have place. But what happened over the course of the next 24 hours is what I want to speak to you about. Is that moment of me not having my moment caused a funk like you would not believe. It caused a ripple effect like you would not believe. I just don't get that. I literally was frustrated. Oh, heck yeah, I was resenting everything. I was becoming sour. I was allowing that moment that I had looked for since January. And things didn't turn out the way that I had hoped that it did. I did everything right, Lord. I sacrificed all I had, Lord. There were times I didn't sleep on your behalf, Lord, and did it with a cheerful heart, Lord. There were times that I sacrificed my needs for my husband, for my daughter, for my grandbaby. Lord, I don't ask for anything from me. This one time I asked for me, Lord. And this is what I get. Wow. Wow. That I was like, okay. First thought that came into my mind, good morning, Teresa, was, okay, Lord, then I guess the life that you have for me. Come on, y'all, listen up here. This is good. I know many of y'all that are on with me live right now. I coach you, mentor y'all. So I know this is about to speak to you. Is where I immediately say, well, then, Lord, then I guess I'm just supposed to live a life of sacrifice. And it's not about me. I guess this is the life that you have for me, where you want me to sacrifice the things that I desire, Lord, like your son did. You want me just to sacrifice all of that, Lord, and my life is just supposed to be about everybody else, Lord. So I need your help, Lord, to help me to find gladness in that so that I can be glad in it, Lord, and not have turmoil. I can be excited about it, Lord, and not have these feelings that I know don't belong to you. Feelings of anger, hurt, pain, resentment, things that I'm like, look, this is not even who I am. But Lord, it's here. And then have to confess, good morning, Tony, a real deal moment, here it is, of Lord, I don't mind living a life of sacrifice for you, for my husband, for my grandbaby and my daughter. But Lord, I have to admit, I'm not okay with living a sacrificial life where I'm not in the equation. I had to admit my flesh. I said, I'm not that domestic woman. I'm not that. I have friends of mine that all they want to do, and when I help them to be that woman, is God has made them to be purposeful in being the wife, the mom, the grandma, and they love it. And I help them protect that because God is using them and they get joy being that. I got many of my friends. But the one thing I knew that I wasn't is I wasn't that woman. I wasn't a woman that was going to be okay just sitting, doing nothing and being about all of this. I wasn't that woman. I was a doer. I was a mover. I was a boogie like my grandbaby. I wanted to move and do things and help people, not be in a house all day, just going to the gym. I'm just not me. And let me tell you, those that do it, those women work hard. That is their battlefield. And let me tell you what, I encourage them and lift them back up and sit them back in to clean the noses. But that's not me. But immediately my thought was, well, then, Lord, are you saying that a life for you, a life being about you, a life serving you, a life following you, a life just giving my whole life to you, doesn't mean me too? Wow, Lord. Wow. And it messed with me for 24 hours. But God showed up. And let me tell you what happened. God immediately told me, I've got you right. where I want you. Number one, the enemy ain't done nothing that I didn't allow him to do. Tracey, daughter. The enemy has not gotten you to a place that I didn't already write. See, I am the author and I am the finisher of your faith, Tracey. See, this is about faith, Tracey. This is about that even in a moment like this, even though you couldn't see your actor, even though you couldn't hang with him, do some fist pumps, do a hug, do a selfie versus a portrait where you're trying to rush. I wanted a selfie with Adrian. I didn't want no portrait. I wanted a selfie like, hey, what's up? I wanted one of those. He says, this was where I knew that I could do my biggest molding of you. Was in something that was downright personal with you. Something that was the biggest desire of your heart. Something that was just for you. See, I want to build your faith, Tracey, even in those moments. I want to build your faith, Tracey, not when the fighting for other people. See, Tracey, you got that down. You'll fight for other people. You'll get beat up for other people. You'll get beat up for your husband, your grandbaby, your daughter, and all the ones that you mentor and the millions that you speak to now. Oh, you'll go through the fire for that. This is good, y'all. I better be getting hearts here because I know this is speaking to many of you. But what I want to build your faith in, your fight in, Tracey, is a fight when it's about you. Woo! I'm getting emotional here. This is how I got to turn my AC up, y'all. Woo! He says, I need to build your faith when it comes to you and who you are. That even in those moments, what would make you think that I don't have you too? What would make you think that I don't have joy for you too? What would make you think that I would want you to sacrifice all your joy to just be about everybody else, and that your daddy is about everybody else, and that I want you to sacrifice like my son did when my son already did it. My son did it. There's no but. We need others to sacrifice like that. My son was the answer. It was the period. It was the finisher of all things. You're not needed. Because that then would make what is in the Bible untrue. It would make the word weak. It would make the word not the word. Tracey, the reason why I let the enemy attack you in your personal joy is to teach you how to fight for your own personal joy. And the first step is you got to realize, Tracey, that you deserve it too. And that I have it for you too. This right here is one of the biggest things, y'all. See, we've gotten good fighting for other people. We've gotten good fighting for our loved ones. We've gotten good fighting for those in need. We've gotten good speaking a good word to these people, encourage them to get up. But God says, hold up. I first died for you. I came here for you first. And then through you, everybody else. So why would I want you to be a king of a kingdom and my king and queen of a kingdom and I don't take care of you? That don't make any sense. That don't make any sense, Tracey. Your faith is impeccable with other people. Your faith, those logging in on Facebook and YouTube right now, is impeccable for other people. But where we got to work on is your faith when it comes to you. You know, it was in the 25th hour, the 26th hour, the 27th hour, as God was bringing me out of my funk, because he wanted me to stay in that funk, man. He wanted me to stay in that funk. Because he knew that those that are with him, when we truly serve him, that we will get to a place where we will submit. And he was waiting for that moment, instead of me wrestling with it, come to him about it. Good morning, Eli. Then when I came to him about it, hour 25, Miss Randy, good morning, my beautiful God is doing big things in the world. Good morning, Randy. That lo and behold, God said, now come to me, daughter. One of the very first things that I need you to do so that you can be and have that same faith that I love you and that you are just as important as everybody else is we've got to put you on the plate. We've got to start to be selfish, Tracey, a little bit and not feel like selfishness means I'm not a servant. Let me say that one more time. That selfishness means I'm not a servant. Do you realize, Tracey, by you having a life with you, what I could do with that? How we could serve other people, how we could minister to other people, how we could bless other people. I said, let me make you a nation to other people, a light to other people. That means you. I want you walking and talking and being a light to other people. I want you showing people that when you're down with me, look at the life that I will give you. And that means you too. That means the things that you desire in your heart, I want you to do them. I appreciate the sacrifices, but the word says I don't need all that sacrifice. What I need is for you to have faith in who I am, even with you. Because if you could do that, can you imagine what that's going to do for all of this that you're serving and working hard for? Can you imagine when you're happy and you've got joy and you've got peace and you're loving your life without Quint, without Boogie, without Brianna? Do you realize what I can do with that? Sister girl, he says, you ain't seen what I can do yet. To see what I can do requires you first. Fighting in the fight club, fighting the enemy, first starts with us. We've got to be a healthy fighter. Good morning, Dawn. We got to be a joyous fighter. We got to love our life. We got to love us without everybody else. We can't be having everybody else be the ones to make us happy. We got to make our own self happy. And we got to learn how to say no. We got to learn how to have boundaries. We got to learn how this life that we live is about us. And if you're not on the plate, if you're not doing the things that bring you joy, if you're not doing things that are just about you, that all you're doing is just serving and just being about everybody else and just being, like he said, Jesus, when we're supposed to be like Jesus, but the sacrifice, yes, to sacrifice in his name, but we don't have to lay down our life. We need to lay down our flesh. Let me say it one more time. We don't need to lay down our life. We need to die to our flesh. This right here is what the Lord was speaking to me on today and yesterday. Tracey, I'm going to make you an example to go and speak to my daughters and my sons. I needed you when it came to Adrian and Paul to put everybody aside and say, look, y'all need to do you because today, mama, wifey, Mimi, I got plans with Adrian and Paul and go do that and be glad in it. This was a true test of so many things that I want to equip you, good morning, heaven, with some scripture that he was pointing out, all these things that he wanted to do in that moment. When you find yourself there, know that the Lord has put you there. And it's because of what he wants to do in you, what he's molding you to, what he's bringing you to. Good morning, Charlene. What he's bringing you into, and more so what he's bringing you through. This is what the Lord, he goes, look, I want all of you, including all of you. That means I want you to be an example in all your life, including the things that are important to you that bring you joy. Don't just be task-oriented and goal-oriented and be so wrapped up in your career and be so wrapped up in your mission for me. Be so wrapped up in how you can serve others and do others that you forget about. I want to serve you, Tracey. I want to bring joy into your life. I want to bring those things into your life that are going to make you truly happy. Good morning, Justin. Good morning, Ann. But it does mean for you to tend to the sheep, which are the people in your life and the people in your ministry or the people at your job. Oh, be a good steward of that. And it does require sacrificing. But when it comes to your life, it is so important that you are first. You know, I remember the show that I watched with Oprah with Dr. Laura. This brought me back to the beginning, where Dr. Laura was on her show and she said, bring the camera close. She goes, I want to speak to those of you watching. She says, you cannot bear fruit. You cannot give the best to other people and other things, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, your family, your marriage, your children, if you're not fed, if you're not taken care of. Good morning, Teresa. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not happy. She goes, and she says mothers, she was speaking to mothers, have this sacrificial thing that we do. And God wants us to be about his children, but not at the forsake of our own joy. You will be a better mom, she said, and a better wife when you are fulfilling your life, your dreams, your aspirations. And it doesn't mean that you go be so selfish you don't care about those things. See, that's where we mess up. We think it's one or the other. God says, look, I'm not a limited God. I can do it all. I got a life full for you. Good morning, Kaylin. I got a life that's about all of that. I'm going to help you do your career, fulfill your aspirations, fulfill your dreams, and be a good mom, and be a good wife. But it starts with you first. You know, it's amazing how when we see all of these people, you know, that you see working in the limelight, because boy, are they not billboards, right? But the one thing that you'll see when you sit down and interview them, the hell they went through, but you also see them come to a revelation that they needed to do them. They needed to do the things that were going to bring them joy, or they needed to get back to it. Good morning, Evelyn. Our life, which is about our family and our kids, God says is first about you, and through you feeding yourself and making yourself happy and taking care of yourself. That means the temple, that means the mind, that means the joy, and that means the really ridiculous things like me going and training with Adrian Paul, aka Duncan McLeod. This is important. God says, those are the things that I fuel you. Those are the things that keep you going. Those are the wind and the air. Those are the things that cause you to go even harder. It is those joys. It is those things that I do in you when it comes to you that gives you the fight to keep fighting. And that makes you the billboard, the light, the salt. For me, it's not faking the joy. It is true, pure joy. We have got to fight the funk. And the funk that we got to fight is our own belief in who we are. But it's also fighting the funk because a lot of times we're in a funk is because we're not happy. And we're not taking care of us. And we're not making ourselves happy. We're looking for all these things to make us happy. Those things can't make you happy. A seminar can't make you truly happy, only for a moment. A book can make you feel good and get you pumped, but it can't truly make you happy. Doing all these things. You know, I've met many people that I've coached. And I will tell you, it's amazing how, and I always use it as an example, I've met women that have lost a lot of weight and women who are struggling with their weight. And what I think is crazy is you can find a woman who's struggling with her weight, but she's got pure joy in her heart, and a woman who loses weight who's miserable and she still sees herself as overweight in the mirror. This is the thing that I'm talking about. We've got to find joy. And in order to do that, it is about faith in our own personal journey, our own personal walk, and getting rid of some things, doing some things differently. Good morning, Mary. Saying no, protecting our dreams and our joy. You can open up your heart to other people, but when it comes time for you, man, you got to have a date with you. You got to have you on the calendar, and you got to protect it over and over and over again. And that guilt that we can have as people, we got to go fight the guilt and fight the junk, because God says, I don't need you to live that kind of life. I don't need you to do all that for me. I've already done that through my son, Jesus Christ. So here are the scriptures I want to give to you as I close. And these are the ones that God gave. He says the issues that we have with fighting the funk is either not knowing what pure joy is, our faith is weak, we feel guilty when we go and do things for ourselves, which means telling something else and people no. We have to accept things and find gladness in it, because sometimes in those moments, that is the best it's going to get. But to accept it and find gladness, when we can't find gladness because we don't accept it, here comes the funk. That the desires of our heart, personally, we don't ask him for it. We ask for everybody else and everything maybe we're doing in our life that's for other people. But do we truly ask him for things that are pertaining to us? That we must stick to the plan, have faith in the plan, that we must be obedient, and we must go through the process, just as his son did, as he said in Hebrews 12, 1 through 2. First scripture I want to give you. Hebrews 12, 1 through 2 talked about what Jesus was going to have to endure, but it says, but joy was before him. That what kept him on his plan is he knew that joy was before him. Not in the moment, not there yet, not standing in it. He knew that if he could go through this, joy would be there. And he accepted that process. Other scriptures is James chapter 1, 2 through 3. That's James chapter 1, 2 to 3. It's about being patient. Some of the reasons why we give up on our joy, we give up on the things we want, or we give up altogether, is patience and keeping faith and patience in the fact that God has got it. And God has got it for you. The next one that I love is Ecclesiastes. And there's two different chapters I want to give you. Ecclesiastes 9, verse 7. And Ecclesiastes 2, 24. That's Ecclesiastes 9, verse 7. And Ecclesiastes 2, verse 24. It is about peace. Peace in enjoying our joy. See, one of the issues that we have when we're happy, we start to feel weird about when we're happy. We start to feel like, wait a minute, I shouldn't be happy. Something's wrong with that. Good morning, Kimberly and Junior. We start to look for the shoe to drop. We start to be like, wait a minute, this isn't right. I'm used to doing this, that it doesn't feel good that I went shopping for myself. As long as you're not blowing up the credit card, ain't paying the bill, y'all. If you're paying it and you're doing it, you shouldn't feel guilty. I feel guilty about going out and having dinner with my girlfriends. I feel guilty about saying this is just for me. God says in Ecclesiastes that he wants you to be happy. He has it for you too. It brings him gladness when he sees that you're happy. Again, that's Ecclesiastes 9, verse 7, and Ecclesiastes 2, 24. The next one is James chapter 1, verses 2 to 3. This is where God says, and even when you go through tribulations, even when you go through heartache, even when you go through things that do not bring you joy, I need you to trust me and count it all as joy. Be joyful even in those moments. Find the joy even in those moments. Believe that there's joy even in those moments. Even though you didn't like it, Tracey, what happened? Find joy in it. Find the joy in what did happen versus what didn't happen. John 16:24. Is the one I said earlier. God says, some of you guys aren't asking me for what you want. Try me and ask it. Try me and ask it. D, I will post these verses as well. Yes, ma'am. One of the things God says, Tracey, you don't ask for you. You're like Solomon. You don't ask for yourself. I need you to start asking for yourself too. You ask for everybody else. You pray up for everybody else. You cover everybody else. Tracey, I need you to ask for those things. God wants you to ask for the things that you want, to test him and try him and watch him show up. But faith and belief after you ask that he's done it. Walking and talking like it's already done. Next is Proverbs 16:20. He says, obedience brings joy. One of the reasons why we don't have personal joy is that we're not being obedient. We're not turning away from sin. We're still allowing the sin to have place in our life. He says, when you're obedient, watch how you will have joy in your life. Watch me give you joy. And again, that is Proverbs 16:20. The next one is Romans chapter 5, verses 1 through 2. He says it's crazy that if you just work on your faith, it produces hope and joy. That even when things don't go great, people think you're crazy. They're all upset and you're finding joy. You're happy no matter what. That God will give that to you. And I love this one. This is one that I needed my daddy to say to me, because I knew my feelings were real. It's Matthew 5:4. God says, but no. And this is Matthew 5:4, that it is okay to mourn. It is okay to be upset. Some of us, our other issue is we get mad when we're upset. I can't believe I'm upset. I shouldn't be upset. This is ridiculous. God says, stop. It is okay to be upset. It is okay to mourn. It is okay to feel those emotions. He knows we're human. He knows our flesh. And he accepted that all. Since that's who you are, Tracey, to be upset about that, to have those thoughts and have those feelings. It is okay to go through the funk, to have the funk. What I'm talking about is realizing why the funk is there. Is to mold you, to test you, to develop you, to make you stronger, to make you be able to endure. But it's also to remind you, you too. And anything you're not happy with, bring it to me, submit it to me. Get it done, get after it. Tend to those things, because my greatest glory, my greatest testament, where people can see me the quickest, is not in the works that you're doing out there. It's in the works that I'm doing right in here with you. Where you just tell people, I love my life. Let me tell you all the things that God has done, all the things I desired and what he's done. And just to even have it, as we said at the beginning, your emotion, which speaks even when there's not a word, to be something that just transcends to other people. So you guys, today for our Monday movement, this is black and white, y'all, to move into the week with tending to the funk. Tending to those things that aren't making you happy. Tending to the things that you know that if I could do these things, it would. Well, let's get after it. Let's live a life full of joy in the Lord. Let's live a life that shows that God cares about you. Let's live a life to show that God has it for you. You know, one of my favorite pastors that preaches is Joel Osteen, because he so preaches the word of God, saying he's got it for you. Believe in you. Go do it. Get after it. And one of his recent messages that was on Saturday morning, or it was Friday, I got it from Quint on Saturday, is God says it's now time to raise up and fight. But fight for your joy. Fight for your happiness. Fight and create the life that is filled with your desires and your dreams. And don't think any of it is ridiculous. And to ask him for it, go after it, protect it, be patient while he does it, and watch what he will do. He says, you first. Fight for the joy. And whenever you're in a funk, go to daddy and give it to him. But more so, fight. And fight the things that are robbing your joy, or fight for the things that will bring it to you. And I hope this message, you guys, has blessed somebody today. I know it did me. I know it did me. Each one of us have dreams and aspirations in business and career, for our family, for our future, for our kids. And my God, what we can do, right? My God, what we go through. But God says one of the biggest ways you can fight that fight and fuel those things is to make sure that you are happy. And watch how all those things will be tended to. So whatever it is, you guys, whether you need to get help or you just need to go do the things that bring you joy, go do it and watch how it transcends. So I love you guys. If this message spoke to you, please, man, testify to it. And more than anything, you guys, I only ask one thing. I'll keep doing every Monday is if you share this. My only thing is when I log off and I get to where I'm at, how many people shared it. Please share this because other people, I guarantee you, need to hear a right now, right on time message from the Lord. I love you guys, and I will see you. Don't forget to tune in this Saturday, okay, as we talk about the collateral damage of war. So important that you know the collateral damage. Good morning, Adelia. Good morning, Amberly. Very important, you guys. When we fight, there's collateral damage. And whether we realize it or not, we're in a fight. So we must learn how to fight. And make sure you tune in next Saturday as we close out the monthly focus with a show that I'm excited about. Blade, the movie Blade, you guys. We have a secret weapon, a lethal weapon that the enemy cannot test to. And he can't even follow us even if he wanted to. And we must know it. And we must know it now so we can wield it, you guys. And I love you and have a great week, you guys. Go get it. Get after it and know he has it for you. Bye-bye.